What date is today then?
Today is 26th.
Today's the 26th, and we are here visiting Uncle Dave at the Leisure Chateau.
Where's that crate? Where's that?
Uncle Dave Winograd about his life in the old country, because we like to know a little bit about where the Winograds started from and what life was like then. And since he's one of the only people we know who lived there, he can give us some idea.
You want me to tell you now?
Yeah, I'd love you to tell me now.
Well, I see now my throat is not clear. The Winograd started actually about, I would say, it's 150 years ago. My grandpa was one of the soldiers of Russia that when the time Nikolai had that they were used, when this was the time when they had slavery in the United States. And they used to grab kids that was 5 years old to 6 in the street and send them away for 25 years in the army. I have a woman die. So this is the way my grandfather told me, that his grandfather had 4 boys. But there was, Russia had one rule, that there was only one boy, they never take him. So they had, this one had 4 sons. So he scattered them through town and gave them all different names, and that's how they saved them away from the drafting them for 25 years in the army. That's what you call the old Nikolaevsky Soldat. That was Nicholas. The first Nicholas of, that was, he was served at the same time when we had slavery here. That's the time he served slavery in Russia. And that's the way they used to get their soldiers. And then, when they named them, they named everybody. One boy was Winograd, one was Goldrich, and one was Gursky. And the 4th one, I forgot the 4th name, but I can't tell. And Eleanor and everybody, I can't pick out the 4th name. But now part of them are South America, part of them are in Johannesburg even, that left during the Russian pogroms. And I left in 1913 when I was 18 years old.
Where did you leave from?
I left from the town of Biala.
This is in Russia?
That is Poland.
Poland.
It was Poland under Russian control.
Uh-huh.
And now it's under Russian again.
And what was life like for you as a boy?
Well, that's one thing, we always had a tutor in our house. Always, our house, you know, I was number 12. My mother had 13 children. I was number 12. And 6 years later, she decided to have another girl. But during the war, Hitler killed them all. Only two of my nephews, one of them is in Munich and one of them is in Paris. That they survived the Warsaw Ghetto. Well, one of them survived the Warsaw, and the one that's in Munich now, he ran away to Russia, to Siberia. He survived in Siberia during the Hitler.
And he's the one who survived from the Warsaw Ghetto?
But
Motek is the one who survived the Warsaw Ghetto?
yeah, he from Siberia. He ran away to Siberia. He survived there.
Can you tell me something about what was life like when you were growing up?
Well, we were partly farming and partly manufacturers of turpentine and tar and charcoal. See, the roots of the pine trees, we used to have diggers dig them and then put them in like in kilns and draw the steam through copper pipes, and that was turpentine. And then the next step was, but the turpentine was going, the tar you'd heat up harder than the other fires, and the tar would drop into drain out and be drained out. And then after the fire was out, we had charcoal left, and we also were farming.
And what did you farm?
We used to raise potatoes, and we used to raise grain, and different things.
And did you live in a Jewish ghetto, or did you live in the city?
No, we lived on a small farm, always in what we call a village. I mean, on the land. We always lived out on the land. When I left, my father was still living on the land. In 1918, when I left Biala.
And did you ever see your father again?
Never. I corresponded with him while when I came to this country, you know. Then I joined the United States Army. I mean, I didn't join exactly, they drafted me. But I was in the First World War, and then I was in Germany for 2 years. with American First World War.
What did you do in the Army?
Like a lot of soldiers do. Got dirty. There's only one good thing I do know, that I know for sure, 90% anyway, that I never killed anybody. That's the one thing that I do know. And then I was put in because I could speak some four languages in the intelligence section. When we were stationed with army occupation in Germany, I was one of those gold bricks. I had a summer job, always going around with wires to try to watch, spies or anything like that.
What languages do you speak?
Pardon?
What languages do you speak?
There's German, I spoke German, Polish, Russian, Jewish.
It's pretty amazing.
But the Russian was my first language. When we landed in Germany, when we defeated the Germans in Bella Woods, that was right next to the Marines we were there. So when we got into Germany, all the Russian prisoners were there. So that was busy then. For about 3 months I was really busy. They were packing them up and sent them back to Russia.
Did you go to Russian school?
To Russian school?
Yeah.
Just very little, probably 2 seasons, while we left the battle in Poland. Their schools were so inadequate. We had to work through the snow knee deep all the time. And they had one teacher that would teach you the six lines a day, and that's in 6 days it didn't teach you anything.
So what school, so that was the school that you went to, or did you also go to Jewish school?
Then for Jewish school, we always had a tutor at home,
I see.
always at home.
So you only went to the other school for a couple of
A
sessions,
couple of seasons, that's about all.
but you learned Russian in that.
But anyhow, at home that the tutor used to Polish. My mother, my mother was illiterate, this one here, but she spoke Polish fluently, but she couldn't read or write.
Uh-huh. What do you remember about your mother?
That I was mama's boy. I was the youngest boy for a long time. You see, everybody was jealous of me, all the other kids. That's I can. And then I remember my sisters, but never saw them again.
So the sisters never came here, just some of your brothers came.
I was the last of the brothers. You see. Uncle Abe, New York, Uncle Abe was the oldest. He came here in 1908. Then Ben came in 1911. I came here in 1913. In October, I think in 15th or 17th, something.
Is Ben the same as Uncle Barrow?
Yeah, that's the one back.
Uh-huh. And then what was your life like here after being in the Army? What did you do?
Well, after I did it, you name it, and I did it. I started peddling for business. I got a job in the St. Louis Valley. Somebody gave me some money and told me to go out and buy some furs. That partnership only lasted about 30 days. And I quit and I went for myself. I was in the St. Louis Valley for about a year and a half. And then I came back and I went to Greeley. And I went to Windsor originally in 1926.
How did you get, when you came from Poland, how did you get to Colorado?
Well, you see, I was routed to, at that time, Baron Hirsch. You heard of Baron Hirsch colonies in Argentina, but he started doing the Russian pogroms. I was on the road. I landed in Galveston, Texas.
From Russia? From Poland?
Yeah, from Poland, yeah.
You took a boat from Poland to Galveston, Texas?
To Galveston, because I was routed to go to South America. But Uncle Abe and Berg were already in Denver. They finally spotted me because we were for the holidays in Philadelphia. We were 21 days aboard ship. And he found out somehow. So they spotted me, they found me in Galveston. And in Galveston, they diverted me to Denver. When I came in here, on Arab Circus, just getting dark when I came in here. That was the middle of October, 1913.
And did you not know that they were in Denver?
Well, yes, we corresponded with them. That's how they located me.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to work here. We had a big snowstorm in Denver in 1914. And the tramway company hired us to shovel the snow off of the track. They were paying us $0.25 an hour. I worked for them. And then I got a job working for a bakery driving I take my horses to live on bread. And then I spent a year in San Luis Valley. And then, because you have to know my love story was the first night, the second night, that it was like the night of holiday, the stores used to open up at night. And I actually was born actually barefooted. My shoes were there torn. So Uncle Abe took me in. He bought me a pair of shoes, and that's where I met Mabel.
Is that right?
Did you know Mabel?
Yeah, I knew Mabel. I was at your house in Windsor.
Oh, that's right. And that was only the first love in the land in all of us.
You had a very good life together.
Only one of a kind.
What made you decide to leave Poland?
Because I was drafted into the army.
Aye.
Done that, I didn't, I was a big kid, And I was only 18 years old, and when I was 18, they'll call you in and look you over, well, you're 21. So they didn't look up your birth certificate or anything.
So you decided to get
So
out.
I ran out at night. Dad took me to the railroad. And I came to Bremerhaven. I was in Bremerhaven, I think, for 10 days. And then I sailed for 21 days till we come to this country.
Uh-huh.
There's a family here in Denver that came on the same ship with me.
Is that right?
Yeah. I see him every Saturday in the synagogue.
And you never went back to see.
No, I'm from Germany. I corresponded with Dad. But then I was to go to Poland to see him. But I didn't have any money. I used to gamble. Play poker all the time. One day I had a lot of money, the next day I didn't. So anyway, Abe sent me some money. And here my division, a company rather, was going home. So it was a choice to me. Either I stay with the company or go home. I'll be discharged and stay there. So I didn't want to stay there all by myself. So I came home.
So did you regret making that decision?
Say what?
Did you regret making that decision?
No, I never did. And I met Mabel the first night. I bought a pair of shoes. And then it went on, and I went to the army, and Mabel was married. And I came back, and she divorced, and we got married. In 26, we got married.
So Mabel was married when you first met her?
But no,
Oh, she wasn't?
she was not, but I went to the army.
Uh-huh. And then she got married?
Yeah.
Do you remember your brothers and sisters from Poland?
Yes, I do.
What do you remember about them?
Just a big family. Take that Savik. Did you meet Savik in Poland?
No, we met Sevik in Paris.
Well, his father, I remember him. He served the Russian-Japanese war. You see. But he was killed by the Nazis.
Was yours a happy family?
Was we a happy family? Yeah, Dad was the kingfish, all right.
He was a kingfish?
Yeah.
In what way was he the kingfish?
When he said something, it was so, and that's all. There's no two ways about it.
Were you afraid of him?
No, everybody was jealous of me. I was a pet, I was the youngest, And the sickest damn kid you ever saw in your life.
Really?
You name it, and I had it. I had diphtheria, I had scarlet fever. You name it, and I got it. When I reached 12, 13 years old, I grew out. You remember I was a Haspersky man,
Was your family well off or were they poor?
Occasionally they had a little more, and most of the time it was less.
But compared to the other Jewish families, how would you...
Yeah, we were considered. We had a big family. My mother was the queen. I never remember my mother pour a cup of tea for herself. She always carried around a bunch of keys. Everything was on the key lock. And 2, 3 servants in the house.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
So that meant that you were a pretty wealthy family.
Yeah. We used to make our own bread 3 times a week. And I remember the laundry used to take it to the river to wash it.
You had animals?
Oh, yeah, we used to have horses. Always a lot of horses and cows. My sisters used to milk cows. That's why I got a job to live in bed here with horses, because I knew how to have horses.
Uh-huh.
And then there's still a building here on the west side with my name on it. You have to go buy out some Dijon deal. Got some vinaigrette. I had a bakery here for years.
Were you a religious family?
We were really rich.
Religious?
Oh, yeah. Religious. I miss my father. They a Sabbath, everything was, nothing done doing a Shabbos or anything like that.
And did you study Talmud Torah a lot?
No, we always had, I never went to Talmud Torah. We always had public, Melamed.
A Malamed who lived with you?
Always lived in a house, you know. And even my sisters used to take Yiddish. Each and every one of them could write Polish, but they also could read and write Yiddish too.
Your sisters could. So the girls got some education too.
Yeah,
Now that was unusual then, wasn't it?
yeah, kind of. But Dad always, our family always believed in education. That's all I mean, my memory is so good, you know. I can remember everything from 60 years ago like it was yesterday.
Right. Well, it's a great story that you can tell.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell me about that you think the grandchildren might want to hear someday?
Like what?
I don't know.
Well, you know, I served in the army and then I came back and then when I went to Greeley, I worked, from Billy I went to St. Louis Valley. And then on the St. Louis Valley, I married in 26, you know. So I went to Greeley and I opened up and then when Abe lost it, when Alan mother died, you know, we moved into Greeley. Because it was Harold and Alan, two kids, nobody took care. So we got to give up Windsor. You know, we moved to live until Dad married Edna.
You moved into Denver to take care of them.
We moved into Greeley
Oh, you moved into Greeley.
for Windsor.
Uh-huh.
And then from Denver, in those days I was making $30 a week, it wasn't enough for the two of us. So I moved to Denver, you see. But I didn't like Denver at all, and I came back to Windsor on my own. I came back to Windsor, I think, in 32 or something.
Why didn't you like Denver?
I just didn't like it. I was a goy, what they call it.
You were what?
A goy, you know, and I wasn't observant.
Why do you think you weren't observant when the rest of your family was?
I mean, you had the thinking of the family. Well, Abe and Sarek's father and all of them, they were very free. He used to be right in the only Hebrew paper in Poland. Sarek's father. He served in the Japanese War in 1903. I remember that. I can still remember his address from his army. Now I can remember my damn telephone.
Were you always not interested in being observant as a kid, or is that just when you got to the United States?
It was, as a kid, was of fear. I was afraid because the dad had slapped me down if I did something and shouted me down. Otherwise, I would never. I believed in education, but I didn't believe in serving, in observing.
And so that was all along.
Yeah.
So what did you do after you moved back to Windsor?
After this time,
You said in about 30 you moved back to Windsor.
yeah, and I went in the chicken business, Jork and junk. And finally I started dibbling in cattle and land. And I made a little success.
A little bundle, as they say. You were in the liquor business too, weren't you?
Yeah, that was all a side issue.
What else did you do as a side issue?
Well, I bought chickens, I bought scrap iron. But then the main thing that I made a few dollars was when I started the cattle, I started buying land. But when B passed away, I empire broke. And then at that time, I was really on the way to make it big.
When Beatty passed away.
Big piece of business.
And you said the empire broke? Why was that?
Because all we did is sit around and cry. What do we need? So we used it. I sold out if I had something that cost $1,000 or something, or $2, making big money. But when the other air conditions, it was held up another 5-6 years. But it would be the same thing, I'd be sitting in here.
You want to tell me again what you told me when we first came in about this being the empire?
Between what?
Remember when I first came in, you talked about, sitting in this room and this is the empire.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that?
I called this my empire.
You said that you used to do cattle and business and...
Yeah, but you see, I had one thing. If you came in and told me you had the Imperial, the state building for sale, I said, I'm going to take a look at it. I never said no.
And now what?
And now what here? And I'm very fortunate now that I got Harold and Morris. And you know, when Sophie passed away, I took everything. And you know, Eileen is pretty well protected, but she's still childish. She don't know how to manipulate things. But I'm living on good hands.
Well, that's good. So you feel good about that?
I do feel good about it.
That's good.
We got blessed health. And I didn't ask any question. I just took it into the vault and then it was finished. I said, here it is. And I still got a vault here in the bank.
Well, that's
And one, I still have one in the window too. Eileen has that one. It's Eileen's.
Can you tell maybe what the happiest moment of your life was?
My marriage to Mabel.
Your marriage to Mabel.
I could say it sincerely and openly. There was never one argument between us that we went to bed mad one day in all our life.
It's pretty wonderful.
And she was a brain. Sharp, smart, kind. You go down to Windsor today and mention Mabel. You know that Terry lived his first couple months in our house. Do you know that?
Terry did?
You know when Harold got married when he came out of the Navy,
Yeah.
and Terry was born in New York, wasn't he? Where was Terry born?
He was born in Washington.
In Washington. So they came to really at that time, didn't have room for them. And Mabel and I were in Europe, so they moved into our house
In Windsor.
in Windsor.
I didn't know that.
They lived there. I met in about 3 months. When we came back here, they bought a little house in Greeley and they moved there. Didn't you know that? No,
I didn't know that.
And my Harold must have been 2 or 3 months old.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink of water.
The end, because our family has to go to Greeley to have Shabbos dinner. But one thing I wanted Uncle
Where
Dave
you going to Harold's house?
Daryl's house, right. One thing I wanted Uncle Dave to say is some words of wisdom for the younger generation, for them to think about. What are your thoughts that you want to pass on to the young ones?
Honesty, friendship. Never think that you're better than the other fella. And go in, in Windsor, I was treasurer of the American Legion, not in such a liberal organization, but they elected me and I was there, I think treasurer there for 40 years. They never had a dime when I became treasurer. You know what the small town rules here are. A bum cut, used to call them bumps. He wanted a meal. There was a wood pile by the city hall. Go and chop some wood for an hour and they'll give you a meal. When I came in, that stopped. You feed them first and then put them to jump until you feel like it. And then some of them came in, rats or grape, the grape of rats, whatever they call it. But they came in but broken down cars and trucks from Arkansas. Didn't have nothing. Who did they come to? First they come to Mabel. Mabel, when they got to go out and buy clothes and get old clothes from the junkyard and everything. I was a member. Mabel was the treasurer of the American Legion there. She was always broke the same way. There was never any money in the treasury when we were in office. And believe me, there's today in Windsor, there's still hundreds of people who killed themselves for TerryWinograd.
It's wonderful. Any other thoughts you want to give for the younger generation? Words to live by.
Honesty, did I say?
You said honesty, yeah?
Think of the fellow man, of your fellow man, neighbor. You
can't go wrong with those.
No, you can't go wrong with those.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Uncle Dave. I really appreciate your talking today.
Okay. So we're supposed to be getting in really one day next week or something?
I and Ellie were going to do this, but because Ellie went to
It's Oxford.
Oxford, right, that we couldn't do it together. So I decided I wanted to do it with you, even if I couldn't do it with Ellie.
Yeah.
So maybe next time we'll try to do some more with Ellie,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Because that would be good if we could do some more.